There is this rumor going around Rocket League community. Huh? It states that KBM players are uncoachable, or that most coaches simply do not know how to coach keyboard players because they themselves play on a controller. But can you trust any of this information? It just so happens that I am a keyboard and mouse player, so I thought I should get a coach and see for myself just how true this rumor actually is. But first I had to find a coach, so I got in touch with Dreamy, the owner of DBhubs, a community that focuses on coaching players. So the thing is, would it be possible to make sure that the coach doesn't know what my video is about?
Yeah, no problem. I'm sure you'll find a session or two more than useful. So we do have some of the best coaches in the Rocket League community. Let me know which one you'd like to book with and we can go with it.
There were 8 options to pick from, and one of those coaches was even a KBM player, but I ended up settling on FreaKii, who is a professional coach for the team Healthy Chiefs. And the plan that I came up with has 3 steps. This is the first one. I will randomly bring up some topics that might trigger a negative reaction towards KBM players. And if at some point he suggests that I should switch to controller, I will consider the rumors to be true. But if he doesn't give any reactions, I will move on to step 2. With all of that out of the way, I booked the session and made sure that the focus in this session would be on mechanics. Hello? Due to obvious reasons, I can't really show the training session itself that much, but this is a quick summary on what we worked on. The main topic was that A-roll needs to be very deliberate, and if it doesn't serve a purpose, you shouldn't A-roll. The 2 main A-roll types are these 2 tornado spins. One allows you to pick the direction you want to go in easier, while the other is mainly used to gain speed or setting up flip resets. And without these fundamentals, you can't really do mechanics in the air. I didn't have much time to speak during the session, but I tried my best to bring out the random topics as much as I could. Is it harder to do movements in the air as a keyboard player?
Well, KBM players have less directional inputs, which means minor adjustments are harder. But if you are deliberate in your decisions on what you want to do in the air, this shouldn't be a problem.
And when the time felt right, I switched the topics to flip cancels.
Do you have any questions?
Not really a question, but maybe we can focus a little bit on flip cancels, because it is much easier to do them on keyboard than controller.
What exactly do you want to know about flip cancels?
Like sometimes when I try to do it, it bounces off. Then we naturally started to talk about speed flips, and I have this way to do a perfect speed flip on keyboard. I will link the video in description if you're interested on how I did it. But either way, at this point I was still inexperienced in it and couldn't do it consistently yet, and wasn't even sure if this was a viable way to do it. Do you think I should just change it?
Don't change it, it's just that the cancel needs to be very fast.
Afterwards he gave me a training routine that I should follow, and with that the session ended. My first step failed more spectacularly than Titanic's maiden voyage, so it was time for step 2. And step 2 is seeing how much I progress within a month, because maybe keyboard players are just bad at following instructions. And this part actually may be true, because after just 2 days of training, I came up with my own training routine, inspired by what FreaKii taught me. It follows the same principle of only doing deliberate movements, but I add a flip cancel or an empty jump, 2 mechanics that are easier to do on a keyboard. And based on these mechanics I developed my own way to set the ball up from the wall. The flip cancel method allows me to accelerate the ball, making it a very fast attack. Meanwhile, the empty jump setup allows me to save boost. I picked one of the custom training maps that FreaKii suggested to me. It is called Wall Shots. But the idea that FreaKii came up with was to transition each of these balls into an eligible.
I think he did only mention the first 5 shots.
But I made it my mission to complete the whole training pack, and so began my self-torture for a month. Not every shot in this training pack was possible to control into an eligible, but I did try to control every ball that was. And the general rule of thumb was just to do something cool, and only then would I be allowed to continue on the next shot. And on each new day, I had to start from the first shot once again. So it made sense to do longer training sessions from time to time, whenever I felt like this was the day I can finish my mission. This 14th shot was the hardest one, to be honest. It is possible to make it into an air dribble, but you have to be extremely precise. At this point the month was already halfway done, and on day 17 I finally broke through the 14th shot. The next few shots were a lot easier. The only issue was time. I had been playing this map for 4 hours already. And although it was fun doing some corner reads for a change, I was simply too tired to go on. And while I didn't play this map for hours each day, it did take me over a week to finally get past the 14th shot. So if I couldn't do it right now, I may never finish it. In the end, I couldn't finish, and discouraged by my failure, this training pack was silent for the next few days. I didn't believe that I could do it, and I even stopped recording my training sessions to save space on my computer. But then... on day 25, I completed the 14th shot in under an hour. I quickly climbed back up to where I left off, and in my mind I knew that I had to finish it today. But the good thing was I was feeling mechanical. A few of the shots, like the 33rd, did cost me a lot of time, but to my surprise at least half of them I didn't even need to control into an air dribble. I just had to hope that there won't be a crazy shot that is possible to control but even harder than the 14th or the 33rd shot, because I had already invested around 3 hours to get this far. But while I was bracing for the worst, to my surprise, the finish line was rather easy, as the ball was already set up for an air dribble from a wall. And I finished the very last shot in only 2 attempts. But while I completed the training pack, the real question was, did this improve me in actual games? The answer is yes. I went from Diamond 2 to almost Champ 2 in 2s, and for the first time ever I reached the Diamond rank in 1s. I did train in other ways as well, some of them suggested to me by FreaKii, but this training pack was my biggest focus, and now that I learned that even despite not following 100% of what FreaKii taught me, I could still improve a lot in a month, it was time to review the third and final step, which is to get another session from FreaKii. But before that I must talk about DBhubs, since they sponsored the 2 training sessions I had, despite knowing what the video is about. For all they know, this small potato could have just trash-talked their coaches for 10 minutes. It is a community made up of professional coaches that help you get better at the game through various community events. And every once in a while they host an event that's also free, so even if you are broke like me, you can still join, and you will probably gain something out of it anyway. Link in description. The third step isn't meant to uncover something new, but just to confirm what we already know. Up until this point I never learned anything about rotations. I just kinda improvised. Basically I had no idea if I did them correctly or not. So, to check if my improvement came purely from my control of the ball and mechanics, I booked the second session to learn about rotations.
Worst rotation I've ever seen in my life. You have no boost for a full minute so far. Your teammate does this by himself, and you do this by yourself behind.
It was a disaster, but it also confirmed that most of my improvement came from mechanics, confirming that at least in DBhubs, there is no prejudice against keyboard players. I also wanted to ask FreaKii how he felt about the coaching sessions, and in his opinion there was no difference from his usual sessions. Thank you for watching till the very end. Subscribe if you liked the video, and if you didn't, drop a comment. Okay, bye bye.